Red Hot Chili Peppers on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Don't be nervous. We might see a difference in Karl. He's a little bit shy. There's someone here from the BBC filming this, part of that celebrity boxing thing. The Fight, I think it's called, and they want to get a little clip of this, so we're gonna let them film for a minute, and then they're gonna go away. Is that alright, Karl?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be on camera, do you? Do you?
I think it ruins radio, doesn't it?
Well, not for the people listening, it doesn't.
Yeah, but it does, because people are like, oh, he sounds like a bit of a looker.
What, you?
Yeah. And then they'll see it on the telly, and they'll go, God, yeah, you know, his head is round.
It is round, though, isn't it?
So...
Guess what? I got a call yesterday, you'll love this, Steve. From MTV. And, they were wondering if, they could screen test Karl.
That's outrageous.
I'm loving it, and I was going, yeah, and I said, yeah, it's fine. I'll come down with him, and I was saying, what about this and that, and they were loving it. I called him up, I went, oh no. I went, why not? He went, well, I'm looking at my reflection now in the mirror. He said, I shouldn't be on the telly.
What would you wear for your screen test, Karl? What kind of look would you try and cultivate? Because you've got to bear in mind that the audience out there, they don't know what you look like. So, would you be a snappy dresser like, say, Jonathan Ross, or would you go for your kind of street cash look?
Can't wear a suit.
You can't wear a suit?
Don't hold it well. So, I'm thinking, I don't know, I'll probably wear my woolly hat, because that takes some years off me.
It does, he looks about 10 with a woolly hat on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
is it quite a cool woolly hat, or has it got a bubble?
It's charcoal, I'd say it's the in colour.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll probably wear me anorak.
Right.
Oh, he's going for the... He's going for glam. He's going for quite a glam look.
No one
dressed for a jumble sale. Wow. Yeah.
But I'm not that happy about it all, to be honest.
Are you going to do it? You're not going to do it?
Well, I'm sort of stuck in the middle, because throughout my life so far, I've never planned for anything, right? It's just always happened.
Yeah.
The time, you know what I mean, being in plays at school, never planned it, but when I did it, I went down a storm.
It was a triumph, yeah, we all remember that.
So...
as I remember, you did Little Donkey.
Did Little Donkey, yeah.
And then later, someone was filming at the back. Was it your dad's mate?
My dad's mate, well,
yeah, and on the camcorder, he listened to it back, watched him playing it, his dad says, just off camera, what does he say?
I don't want to say it, because I'm in charge of the show, and I think it'd be irresponsible.
He looks like a right twat. So he gets home, lives watching that, and then here's his dad just off camera go, he looks like a right twat.
Yeah, alright, yeah.
What are you worried about? Your dad saying that on the
Can I just interject, because I'm really worried about this idea of Karl being on MTV, because the problem is that, you know, let's be honest, Rick, I mean, we're getting by the skin of our teeth, aren't we, really? It's only Karl that's keeping this afloat.
Yeah.
And if he gets on MTV and the world sort of gets a sense of him and they understand him, and he won't be ours anymore, we won't be able to control him, it'll be out there, it'll be in the public domain.
That's the thing, no, that's the thing, that's the terrible thing though, isn't it? It's like, Karl is my pet, but I realise I've got to release him into the wild, sort of, and, you know, because I love him, I know he's got to go free.
Sure.
But I wanna...
It's like Kez. Maybe someone will beat him to death and we won't have to worry.
I'll have you on though, I'll have you on as a guest. Which gets me on to something we've got coming up today.
Oh yeah, he's got a new idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know, like, I've talked about ghosts, and we had that good discussion the other week walking to Piccadilly Circus Station, and I was telling you about ghosts, and you were saying, Karl, don't be an idiot, and all that. I spoke to a woman in the week, done a little interview with her.
You've done a little interview?
Done
Brilliant.
a little interview, 2 minutes or so. With a woman who's got ghosts in her house. So,
I look forward to hearing that later, that sounds brilliant.
Coming up later.
Well, I'm gonna play a classic tune now. I've just gone straight for it, I've gone for the jugular. This is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl was also nervous, 'cause you had a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in.
To the show?
Yeah. And Karl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, I just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. It used to be radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because of the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along and said it.
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told him since, but they promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my dad said, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kinda going, bollocks. So, he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV, and what's he gonna make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I'll just press the buttons.
No, it's just you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really?
Yeah.
So then what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan?
No, just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to my dad once, I think, and sort of said, "Oh, you go to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing." Is that what you're talking about? So there's a parents' evening, so he went,
Said what kid?
he went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well,
She'd turn on to MTV when, I don't know, like their slamming session.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go, "That's young Pilkington. He's bald, but it's definitely him."
I recognise that woolly hat.
Yeah. Did you see Celebrity Fit Club yesterday?
I missed it. I didn't watch any TV this week. The only TV I watched was, Are You Good in Bed? I already knew the answer.
What was it? You had to have to tick points?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It was no. I was off the scale.
Well, talking off the scales, Rick Waller.
Really? Is he off? What's
well,
happened?
what he did is he lost weight and they couldn't believe it. And he had a big argument with Harvey and they said go, never come back to it. Right? And then he got to weigh and he'd lost sort of like 10 pounds or something. And they were really. They said, "You've been starving yourself, haven't you?" And he admitted it. And
I thought he just wasn't wearing his underpants.
yeah. But he was whinging all the time. He was watching it. He was doing a press. It was going, "I've hurt my arm." He was going, "I feel sick." And he was going, and he was just lying all the time about whether he was doing the routine and what he was eating and stuff. And I thought, that's me with this celebrity box. It is because it's sort of like. And they go, "How's it going? Do you have another drink this week?" And I go, "No, haven't had a beer this week. No." "Did you do the exercise today?" And I go, "Yep. Yeah, I've done all that. Yeah. And I try and get out of the sparring because it hurts because there's a man hitting me in the face for fun.
Right. Because you know that's what boxing is.
Yeah, that is being hit. Yeah. I like all the bits except the being hit. I don't even mind hitting someone.
Right,
I'd be willing to hit someone. It's the getting hit that I don't like.
Because I know you're a big fan of, like, wearing the clothes, the sort of sporty gear.
I'm
I know
looking good,
you look good, and you've obviously switched back there, man.
They gave me this for training. This was free for training.
That's a perk you love.
So,
and I know you like, kind of the sort of various sort of nutritional drinks you've got to drink. I know you're a big fan of those.
I love the protein shake because it tastes like chocolate. You know what? I've put on a couple of pounds since I've been doing this training.
Nice.
I think it is the extra meal and.
So you're adding the protein, but not working out enough to take it off again.
Yeah, but I think I have actually changed a bit. I've got an inch on my chest, but an inch off my waist. So even though I've put on weight, there must be a little bit of muscle happening somewhere.
So just to recap there slightly, you're enjoying all the trappings of boxing.
Yeah.
But not the boxing.
Not the getting hit in the nose.
Right.
That's the one.
And you are aware that that's what will be happening during the actual fight.
No, because I've got a cunning plan.
Okay.
I'm gonna duck and dive. Bob and weave, dance. I'm gonna dance.
Well, I read in the paper yesterday, I don't know how much truth there is, that Grant Bovey has recruited celebrity hypnotist Paul McKenna to help him win.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's of any truth. Because I know you've got Spit the Dog. You've got a couple of ventriloquists and an impressionist on your side.
I've got Pork Pie from Desmond.
Yeah, exactly.
Just getting me tuned
in your corner.
Mentally. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's all a bit of fun.
What do you reckon, Carl? Do you think he's
what's McKenna going to be doing? Is like Grant Bovey going to be turned into a chicken and... You know what I mean?
He's going to do an Elvis impression.
Yeah.
And take off
if I say the right words.
No, I think he's probably going to just help him focus
I think there's lots of sports psychologists out there at the moment getting people. So I'm sure it's valid. If it's true, I'm sure it's fine. But I've been getting tuned mentally, learning how to hit.
Yeah.
That was my method. Eating and hitting. I think is.
And do you work out to any music? I mean, do you put on the Rocky soundtrack? Because I know you've got a special CD with music from all 5 films, haven't you?
No, we don't. It's I think they have the radio on down there, but you don't hear it. It's all you hear is people shouting, saying things like, "That's not like a fighter," and me going, "I'm not a fighter. I'm a comedian."
And is it quite intimidating down there? I mean, do they?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're nice people, but
I'm getting used to it now. But it is a different world, and I was quite scared, and I didn't.
When you say, I mean, is it like they're gangsters? I mean, is it kind of? I just mean, has it got that feel? You know, when you see it in films, they walk into those places, and you know, they're hard nuts, and there's that feel like.
Well, they're all they're all ex-boxers and stuff. So yeah, but no, they're not. No, that's not. I mean,
I suppose it's like they're real men.
Well, yeah, and they don't understand really that I don't like getting hit on the nose. And they say, well, no one gets hit on the nose. And it took me a long time to get over that. Just taking a couple of punches.
Yeah.
I wanted to rule it out. Yeah. And but you know, it's okay now. And of course I know they're mollycoddling me. They're not they're using about 25% power, and I'm still...
And you wear the headgear, do you?
Oh, yeah, and the gum shield, yeah. I wanted to wear a crash helmet, but they said no, and carry a baseball bat, and they said that's technically illegal. But, I'm looking for, I'm a changed man, Carl. What we got coming up?
Got a bit of a, Death in Vegas with vocals from Liam Gallagher.
Final question for you, Rick. Do you think you'll carry on boxing after this is finished?
Competitively?
No, just the training and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I do the training. Yeah, no, I love the training. I love learning the skills, and I do enjoy the training. I don't relish getting punched around. And I'm not worried about the fight at all. I'm really looking forward to the fight, because Grant's a novice like me. It's just when you get in with an ex-pro who, could destroy you so you're scared to hit him. And they never lose their rag, and they're really cool, and they're really nice, and they've never even hit me by mistake. But even just tapping you like that in the face hurts.
I was walking down Finchley Road yesterday, and a couple of sixth formers said, "Oh, you lanky goggle-eyed freak," and I just wondered if maybe you could pop round and have a word with them.
I will.
Some of your friends.
An enemy of yours is an enemy of mine.
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? Like normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable.
Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is, when I've told you the answer, to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so, there's two doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell. Yeah. Okay, they're identical, you can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's two guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what, one to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not the rules.
are you can only ask one. There aren't actually two doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. This is a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
I can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no
Get anywhere
keyhole.
near them.
Um,
Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
so they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling,
Yeah.
but one of them's not really smiling. Really, he's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question. If you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these two guys get on.
Okay, it's a logical. Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there.
No,
No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
hang on. Right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go. You
Right,
go,
hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those two guys. Okay, right?
But we have to. Well, me and Steve will decide which doors we're guarding. Okay.
Right.
I'm.
Look away, Carl.
Okay.
Right,
then.
so we've decided. Okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right. I'll just say to you, Steve. I'll go. Got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some posts for God here.
No, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the question's coming. You got some posts for God here, yeah.
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let
So
him finish. mate.
is God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes,
Do you,
he's
want,
in.
do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
look, lads. I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven, because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so I'd say he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same, and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think, because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer, and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So...
They're identical.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little SNIDY one.
Spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall, was that right?
We just got this flat, and, you know, it's not a big flat, so I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right, which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and that. But that was...
What?
No, just, you know... Just,
What?
What? What has he been doing with the mirror?
Well,
What's he
just
been
a
doing?
bit-
Why-
No,
what?
it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know. What do you mean? What do they do?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want? What?
no, I don't.
Experimental in what
What do
way?
you mean experimental?
I just mean, you know, they'd be doing stuff.
What?
Of whatever they do.
Chemistry,
What?
have a chemistry set out, they were doing experiments, what?
No, just doing what.
Singing I Am What I Am and just checking out
No,
the
each
the
to their
dance
own. I'm
moves.
not having a go at anyone, but
What?
I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing, which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying as
homophobic,
well.
are you?
Because,
You're not
no,
st-
I'm not. I'm
What?
not. This is why.
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why
I
are
mean,
you thinking about what he's doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was I was going to take it down, and I thought, oh, it's a bit dangerous. This, you know, it could crack and
Because it's the
fall on
size
it.
of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall.
Right.
So like when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it,
Brilliant.
and it looks all right. You wouldn't know, what have you? But it means that I can't put any pictures up. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because I've put a nail in.
And what don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept? Specifics?
No,
So-
that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas, and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. It's like, well, just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but don't invent cameras then, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, and then they go, we've got to invent something else. Like the abstract thing. Why has someone gone, oh, I can't have paintings anymore because...
What do you think of Dali? Going, melting clocks and stuff? No?
I mean, the first one was alright when he did the first clock, but then all the time he's just like, oh, I'll draw something and it's got a melting clock on it. I'll do a sheep, put one of them on it.
Have you
put a
seen his
clock on
lobster
it.
telephone?
That annoys me.
Why?
Because I think what annoyed me more with that is when I heard about how it happened, he had some artist mate round, right? And I don't know what happened. They were
okay.
they were eating.
That's a good hell of an anecdote.
No, but they were eating. They were eating some food and what have you.
Yeah.
Lobsters?
And yeah, they were eating lobster.
Alright.
And
That's handy.
I don't know, the other artist, whoever it was, sort of
Telephone?
started saying, oh, you and your clocks and all that, right?
Brilliant.
And
This didn't happen.
They started arguing,
Yeah.
and he chucked some of the lobster.
Bollocks.
And it landed on the phone.
Bounced off his mate's head, went on the phone, and they both looked at each other like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And they brought out that phone as a bit of art. Things like that annoy me. Because
happen.
it was then just messing
That
about.
didn't happen.
Just telling you what I know. I saw his work. Each to their own, if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it. Art should be there to tell a story, not just to have a splash of colour. We know.
Well, Suzanne like some art. Just like Suzanne's not allowed to watch telly unless it's a favourite thing. Otherwise, she's got to talk to me about stuff. There's no art. There's no point. Just wallpaper.
I'm just saying, we've got three windows we can look out of.
Right.
Right? Stop looking at the walls. Look out the window.
My mum phoned and said that my Auntie Nora, classic Auntie Nora, wanted me to look on the internet to find out what the weather will be like in Spain at the end of November. I don't know where she gets her money from. 2 months ago, she was asking me dad how much it would be to get her back garden astroturfed because she's sick and tired of the grass getting out of
What does she want to do? Start a football team? What does she want to back garden AstroTurf?
She likes the sort of green look, but she doesn't like the headache that comes with it, so she's just looking into getting that false grass put in there.
Brilliant.
Don't know how much it is.
Yeah. Carl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr?
Yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
Not really.
even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And
Wasn't a teacher, was it?
There was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean? They had
What did you look like then?
Well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's the gang of boys in the 5th form with beards. Were they smoking pipes? Come over here, me filly. Oi, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
No, but she was like,
I love that. Hanging around with beards. There's the big boys. Oh, fishing. Lovely beards. What do you
I
mean?
just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws. Brilliant.
How do you do in history, boy? Think on E. You're an idiot. Oh.
they were like, you know, I'd be there sort of punching people in the arm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great game.
Oh, I love that. Punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
But it's
going to be a pro next
it's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt in winter. Yeah.
So you're often playing that?
She, but whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
that, you know, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere. Because they were really like, there was something about them that you thought, you know, yeah, they're special.
They were private detectives.
What if they work for a man they never see?
Okay, well, here's a name I'm interested in because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids, he was alright, but he had that thing when, if you didn't have enough milk, he had like, wrinkly hands and like white bits in his nails.
Oh!
Because you didn't have enough milk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, you didn't like him because you didn't get enough milk?
This is not to be confused with the 2 people with the big heads and the webbed feet, is it?
Webbed hands.
Well, this
I
was interesting.
know that they weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But you wouldn't have liked him. He's just one of them people. He was alright, but...
Well, before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs. Yeah. Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone. Okay, at school and what he thinks of everyone. And he says, I often see Simon. He's doing all right for himself. Self-employed illustrator. Mark Cooper. Karl Pilkington.
Right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says Karl Pilkington with his pet bird. Was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh, God! Oh, no, they do that, don't they? You show them the love.
What was the story there,
You
Carl?
give them seed and they just leave. What do you mean?
Well,
This sounds like Kez.
Well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kez. And it was the time our dog had just died.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And in the end,
With a chair and a whip. What do you mean you tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
But how did you get hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love the way he just throws things in. It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So he used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre. So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker. Oh, God. So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it there?
Carrying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow. So it was happy there, and then it got to...
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And I don't suppose
Maggie, called it Maggie.
You didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
No, not really.
No.
But go on, any... Like,
Carl, let's come back to it, mate. Let's come back to it. Let's have a hip-hop hooray track. It's the big hip-hop selection from Big Steve Merchant. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Just trying to sound hip. This is Spearhead from many years back. A track, again, I think got largely overlooked at the time, but worth hearing again. People in the Middle. Spearhead, People in the Middle. Michael Franti, surely one of the greatest rappers, I think. He's just... If you've ever heard him bust it live, Rick, he's almost as good as me.
I'm just going to tell the listeners there, Carl is quite a little insecure sort of chap. And he was just worried about that last bit. He was going, who would ever find that interesting? He was worried about people finding him boring. And Steve said, as I said, you know, it's like an Alan Bennett thing. He went, yeah, but, you know, no one would care about Alan Bennett if he wasn't such a hit maker. They wouldn't care what he had to say. And we just looked at him for a while, and he went, thinking of Tony Bennett. Bless him.
Listen, it's almost the end of the show, Carl.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really been a Carl special.
This is a Carl special, yeah.
Well, next week, we'll lay off
next week. We have to
We're
know.
not going to...
He wants to retire a little bit, just
Well, those old lottery numbers might come up tonight anyway.
Exactly. You might. What are they again? What's the 4 you've come up with?
Put them away now.
What? Come on, well, give us all 6.
No.
Why?
Carl, while you're rummaging for that...
5, 9, 12 and 26.
A few more names that you may recall from Friends Reunited.
Go on.
Lisa Shufflebotham? Do you remember her?
Yeah. She,
Was she one of Charlie's Angels?
No, she wasn't that nice, but she wanted me. her and a mate Rachel, I remember, I don't know why, but it was some sort of PE lesson where it had to be a bloke and 2 girls, and they were fighting over me.
Could you hear what they were saying?
They were just like, I want him, and I was loving it. Stuck in the middle, and they were fighting over me. And then the next week, I thought I'll sit near them.
What sort of game do they play at this school?
I don't know.
That's an incredible game.
But I think
punch me on the arm. No, punch me on the arm, Carl.
They just went through it. Because the following week, I thought, right, I'll sit near them again, because I quite enjoyed the way they fighted over me. But then they picked somebody else, and I don't know who I was with that week.
So you didn't get any action with Shufflebotham or a friend?
No. And as she got older, she went a bit off. She's probably nice now. It's just, I mean, I'll say about myself, when you get to sort of the end of secondary school, you do sort of go a bit odd looking.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When your sort of head grows funny.
I would just love to go back to a school of that era. I mean, just what happened to people, whether, you know, all people sprouting limbs.
No, do you know what I mean? When you're like 12 and that, you quite... No, not 12. When you're 10, when you're 7 to 10, you sort of look healthy, and you look at your pictures and you go, yeah, I was a good-looking lad. But then when you get to late secondary school, something happens, and you just look a bit odd.
Okay, well, what about Alison Thorpe?
Not sure about her. I sort of know the name, can't put a face to it.
Damien Comer?
Again, know the name.
Yeah.
Can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Well, those are pretty much all the names I could find. We've had some interesting thoughts, though, and interesting anecdotes.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to say hello to that maybe listening now that
I think I would have mentioned Darren Buckley if you hadn't brought him up.
Oh, right.
He was like me buddy.
Yeah. Did you ever see the magpie again when you took it to the school and confused it?
No.
You're joking. That was the end of it, was it?
Yeah.
So where did it go?
Probably to some other kid. Because I mean, actually, it probably got killed. Because if it was being that friendly with other people, some people might have took advantage of it.
In what way?
Well, there was a programme on the other week about...
What, in the way that Shuffle both of them are trying to take advantage of you?
Yeah.
There was a programme on the other week about bear whisperers.
Yeah.
And some blokes got really friendly with a bear, and then when they were leaving that area where the bear was, they said, "Oh, we've caused a problem here, because there's some bear hunters coming in and moving into this area, and it's going to get a bullet if it acts like this," so they had to scare it away, and that's what I should have done with Maggie. I should have terrified it a little bit, so it wouldn't trust humans.
Just introduced it to some of your schoolmates, I'm sure, would have freaked it right out.
Well, the ones with
Maybe
the
that was
big
why
heads.
it fled.
It didn't see. Oh no! It didn't see those two fellas with big heads and webbed hands coming towards it, did it?
That would have terrified anything. It's like a scarecrow, like two walking scarecrows. Listen, have we got time for a song for the ladies? What's happening?
Oh.
We've not really thought.
Quick
It's
then,
been
quick!
wittering
Just
on.
do it! Just do it! Thanks very much.
Well, hang on, no, we haven't lined anything up, have we?
I was going to play Mary Lawson and that for you, and then
Is this going to be the final track?
It has to be.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
We've blown it. We've blown it on the Carl special.
We have indeed.
I'll play it next week. So Carl there's got an E at history in GCSE. Any history teachers, anyone who can help Carl out, I think we should try and register him and take it this June. So
So what's your homework for this week?
You've got to read about Che Guevara, haven't you?
Yeah.
The revolutionary leader.
Okay.
Do you know anything about him at all? Have you got any basis?
I just know that if you want to use his face on your business, it costs a lot of money. Do you know, like, if McDonald's wanted to have him as, like, instead of Ronald McDonald?
How does he do it? Steve, how does he do it, man?
Oh, we listen. Just play a final record, Carl. Say goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
Alright.
See you later.
Cheers, mate.
Oh,